Well, that certainly was a way to win the game. Well, to be fair, I did just say find a way to win the game. If I wanted it to be spectacular, I probably should have specified that. I am Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about Game 68 of the regular season, where the Astros win 3-1 over the San Francisco Giants and take the second game of the three-game series. When I begged them to find a way to win, they delivered. They found a way. The Astros had two scoring events in this game. One was a ground out, and one was an error. But they don't ask how, they ask how many. That's a lie. They definitely ask how. However, the more important thing is how many. To state the obvious, the Astros offense was really just not great. You get the sacrifice from Altuve. To state the obvious, the offense was not great. Altuve had a productive out, and Bregman would have scored a run. I think he probably would have been safe, but also the error just really helps that out. They weren't good. I want to say they were like 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. It was not a great game from the offense. This is a game where you were heavily carried by your pitching staff. Ronel Blanco, for what feels like the 80th time this season, just pitches a gem. I genuinely have no words for how good Ronel Blanco has been this season, and I've talked about it a bit, which is the Astros, if they want to be good this season, have got to find a way to make do through the injuries. They've been at their best with the next man up mentality, and you can look at different players who have come in, whether as rookies or as free agents who you just expected virtually nothing out of. Think guys in the vein of Christian Javier in 2020. Think of Wade Miley back in 2019 before he kind of went down into the tank. That is how they end up with productive innings out of pitchers. Ronel Blanco has been that guy this season that's just come out of the absolute woodworks, made the roster quite literally on the last day of spring training. It wasn't even spring training anymore. They were back in Minute Maid doing an exhibition game between them and their minor league team, and then he managed to get the spot chipped out for himself. And to this point, he has been the best starting pitcher. I think you can make the debate for the best pitcher on the roster. It's really hard to debate starters versus relievers, but at minimum, he has been the best pitcher of the season to start a game for the Astros, which is not something I expected whatsoever. But he has been spectacular. Finishes the night, 8 strikeouts, 1 walk, gives up the 1 home run as his only blemish. A gem from Ronel Blanco out in the Bay. Then you get to the bullpen. Taylor Scott, again, it's kind of stupid. It's kind of stupid, but he is genuinely the best relief pitcher they have. And if you would have told me, following spring training, that the two best players on this pitching staff would be Ronel Blanco and Taylor Scott, it's not that I wouldn't have believed you, it's that I physically could not find the brain cells capable of registering that is believable for me. Then wind up turning the game over to Brian Abreu, who pitches a very solid 8th inning, picks up a strikeout, and then you get to the 9th inning, and it's Ryan Presley in a 2-run game. And I was terrified. I think the majority of people were nervous. A lot of stuff online was like, oh, Presley's warming, game's over. And listen, I think that is a bit of a bridge too far. He still can have his moments. I think he's still working back to being Ryan Presley. That felt like a little bit just too out there. He's not an automatic loss. He has been very, very poor this season, but he has had some games that are signs of life. Last night was a sign of life. I still don't want him in high leverage situations until he really, truly figures it out again. But I am happy for Ryan Presley that he was able to go out and pick up a pair of strikeouts in a clean 9th inning to pick up a save. That was really nice. And ultimately, this wasn't a masterpiece or even really that good of a game, especially if you're looking from an offensive perspective. It was a dominant pitching outing from everyone on the roster. The offense really just couldn't do anything, but they did what I asked, which is simply find a way to win the game. It's in the vein of Astros of old, which is get stupid outs or stupid plays that result in runs, and that's how you win the game. So at least, play in all the hits. And now they go into a game today at 3:45 Eastern where they can win the series against the St. Louis Giants. That's so wrong in so many different ways. It's almost impressive. The San Francisco Giants. The game will be at 3:45 Eastern, 2:45 Central. The Astros are going to send Framber Valdez to the mound, coming off of probably his best game of the season. And the Giants are going to send Logan Webb to the mound. I'll be here afterwards to talk about it, but as for right now, that is all I have to say. So if you enjoyed the video, please consider to like and subscribe. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Astros.